I would like to make a video about a very common question I get from my clients when they book a consultation. So hopefully watching this video will allow you to look into your situation and then decide if a consultation is worth your time. One of the questions I get is, how do I get a work visa? And my answer is always, do you have an employer? And if the answer is no, that conversation is very short. Meaning, if you don't have an employer, someone to hire you and make a job offer, you won't get a work visa. Unless there is an exemption, such as an open work permit. So let's look into that. In order for you to get a work permit, you would need an employer. That employer most likely would need to do something called an LMIA application, a labor market impact assessment. We'd have to submit an application to Service Canada, proving that this employer has done recruitment efforts and tried to hire a permanent resident or Canadian citizen, but they were not able to find that skill set in Canada and therefore forced to look outside. That process is called an LMIA. Despite common belief, the firm has quite a high success rate. If the employer qualifies, meaning the employer has the financial capability of paying your prevailing wage, and again, that's determined on what position, hence what NOC we give you, the possibility of that LMIA being approved is quite high. Canada recognizes that there's a labor shortage and that we need to hire foreign workers to fill that shortage. So what do you need? You need an employer that's most likely willing to do an LMIA. There are exemptions from the LMIA, like the ICT. If you have a company outside of Canada that you've been working for minimum 1 year, and that company has an affiliate or subsidiary in Canada, then for you to transfer to that, it's called an intra-company transfer. That's LMIA exempt. That's also a work permit, also considered a closed work permit. There are other types of work permit that are open. When we look at open, majority of open work permits are attached to something. So for example, a postgraduate work permit was based on the fact that you were a student in Canada. An open spousal work permit is based on your spouse sponsoring you and you're in the country. So it's based on a spousal application or a common law application. And there are other ones called the working holiday visa. These are permits given to individuals that have finished their education outside of Canada, and Canada has a relationship with that country, and we give them an opportunity to come and work in Canada after their education. So each country has their own requirements. Most of them will give you an open work permit between 1 to 2 years, called the working holiday visa. So if you're looking at coming to work in Canada, ask yourself this: do I qualify under one of the exemptions? If not, do I have an employer that's willing to sponsor me? And if not, then the last option you can look at is potentially opening up your own business in Canada and getting a work permit under that. That could be based on a C11. We would have to flesh out a business plan as to what you intend to do, and that this business is going to be a legitimate business operating in Canada. And again, it could be an existing business, or you can establish your own. If you're looking at coming to work in Canada and you need some clarification on this, feel free to give us a call. Thank you, and until next time.